Last time we did a video like this, Braden Holtby was still an active Tendy and Freddie Anderson was a Maple Leaf. Therefore, with the recent news about Alex Nedeljkovic making the headlines, I decided now was the perfect time to go over a select few goalies that could be replaced. We'll go over each goalie's current situation and if it would make sense for them to ultimately be replaced. And with that, here are 3 NHL goalies that could be replaced, and why. After having some noticeable conflict with former head coach Pete DeBoer, Robin Lehner finished his season out prematurely due to injuries, and months later, we learned that the netminder would be missing likely the entire upcoming campaign due to hip surgery. As the season approached, many were concerned and curious as to how the Golden Knights were going to manage such a discrepancy in net. Backup Laurent Brossoit, who had a light workload last season, was also expected to be missing time as well for the same type of surgery as his tandem partner was undergoing. Therefore, the spotlight was, by default, put on Adin Hill and rookie Logan Thompson. Hill, who was acquired from San Jose, came to Sin City with considerable NHL experience, but probably wasn't the ideal starter to have between the pipes. Due to the circumstances, the Knights began looking to 25-year-old Logan Thompson to man the crease for Vegas. And really, the goaltender has been one of the brightest surprises so far this season, as Thompson has managed to record a .913 save percentage and a 2.73 goals against average. Currently, first in their division, the Golden Knights have been thriving without Lehner, who unfortunately has filed for bankruptcy here recently. But if you know anything about how Kelly McCrimmon runs things in Sin City, then you'll know that it's very much a cutthroat type of ship the GM's running. Lehner, who's currently signed to a 5-year, $25 million contract, has a modified no-trade clause built into his deal, meaning that he would hypothetically have to submit an 8-team no-trade list if the team approached him regarding a prospective trade. If Lehner isn't able to recover and remains on injury reserve, is it possible that McCrimmon will move on to the next shiny thing in nets? It definitely seems like it could be a possibility. Looking back to the Marc-Andre Fleury situation, this definitely makes it more plausible that it could happen. If his recovery continues to stall and Thompson continues to thrive, then knowing the GM's past, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to trade Lehner's deal to a team that's looking for draft picks. Because, as we've learned, Vegas is also always in cup or bust mode as well. And now a quick reminder for each and every one of you to stay hydrated. To save 20% off your order on liquidiv.com and to get free shipping, simply use my code AlyssaHope in all caps. Link will be below. And now, back to the video. When the Detroit Red Wings initially claimed netminder Magnus Hellberg off waivers, spectators began to wonder who out of the 3 attendees would be the odd man out thereafter. And last week, we learned who the unlucky goaltender was, as GM Steve Yzerman placed Alex Nedeljkovic on waivers. This actually transpired after Nedeljkovic had spent a stint between the pipes for Detroit's AHL affiliates. The time the netminder spent with the Grand Rapid Griffins was labeled as a conditioning stint, as Nedeljkovic last played for the Red Wings back in December prior to the stint. His numbers so far this season at the NHL level have been mediocre at best, with a .880 save percentage and a 4.09 goals against average. The goaltender unfortunately has lost his position in net, and his replacement, Ville Husso, has been doing decently well so far this campaign, as he's let in over a goal less per game with 3 even and has a .902 save percentage. His cap hit is a little bit higher than his predecessor at $4.275 million. Therefore, it's not only been Ned's performance that's allowed for this situation to happen, but also his contract value as well. Since Yzerman was able to find a cheaper backup in Hellberg, who's making under $1 million a season, this move has transpired probably more out of convenience at the time rather than necessity, because Hellberg just happened to be available for the taking this past November. Husso, who seems to be Yzerman's main choice to man the crease, won't be a UFA until 2025. I think it's safe to say that we've seen a complete role reversal in net thus far in Ohio's capital take place so far this season. As last campaign, you may remember, Joonas Korpisalo was the goalie that was struggling, while Elvis Merzlikins was busy impressing in net. After earning his 5-year deal that's worth $27 million, Merzlikins hasn't seemed like himself at all lately, currently sporting a .869 save percentage and a goals against average of 4.44. The goaltender has been mediocre at best.
Start was a little, I think I gave too many rebounds and I wasn't there. I mean, that's what I felt. I wasn't there. During the first commercial, I even said to Lars that I need to wake up. It's a 5 o'clock game, you know. Yesterday was back-to-back, but I didn't play, so I had no excuses. I was fresh. I needed to have better start.
Head coach Brad Larson even admitted that his tendy was struggling back in December. Elvis hasn't had a great season, he says. This was said after Larson made the decision to call up rookie Daniil Tarasov, who's participated in 12 games so far for CBJ. Along with Tarasov getting some extra playing time, Korpisalo has also been called upon more this season than he was last campaign, as Korpisalo is getting close to playing in about the same amount of games he did in total last season, with 18 thus far. His workload last season was only 22 games throughout, and as I mentioned, he's been decently better so far, as the goalie save percentage went from a .877 to a .908 currently. It is important to note, however, that Merzlikins did miss 8 games this season due to a hip injury. Therefore, at times, he could have been playing injured. Even still, recently, he has had a mix of good and bad results in net since his return. Out of the last 5 games that Merzlikins has been in net for the Jackets, he's recorded a below .900 save percentage in 3 of those. This will be an interesting situation to keep an eye on up until the deadline, as Korpisalo is currently a pending UFA. In conclusion, I decided not to include Jack Campbell here because recently he's been rebounding with his team. Soup is also a goalie we've talked about at length here recently, therefore I wanted to give it a rest. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support me, you can do so via Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and or Super Thanks. Information for those methods of support will be below. Once I receive your donation, I will give you a shout out accordingly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.